Hi, I'm Steve Barlow. This is the Humanised Workforce Future You podcast video, where we're talking about perceptions of the future, issues that we need to be aware of, and their role in a rapidly changing work and life environment.
Hi, I'm Craig Saffin. The Humanised Workforce Future You podcast series is focused on the key factors evolving to create a more humanised workforce and how people from all walks of life are creating their future selves.
But those people are in the minority. The majority of people don't like it. They find it stressful.
Yeah.
They're fatigued with change. Yeah. They would prefer things to be more stable. And I don't think things in many instances are going to be that stable for going forward. You know, there's going to be changes that are happening all over the place. I saw a thing on LinkedIn the other day saying that the CEO of Johnson & Johnson's come out and said that healthcare will change more in the next 10 years than it's changed in a century.
Right.
So, you know, really, this is the effect of the changes to globalization that are happening at the moment, changes in technology, the ongoing effects of the pandemic, and just social change, you know, just generational change.
So when you're doing your talent management and hiring your talent into, or even assessing the people you have, then assessing that ability to change and that what you term the change fitness, and that ability to pick up new ways of working, that's a skill, isn't it? And so you need to be able to ask people what their track record of doing that and what their capability is, ascertain what their capability is.
That's a skill. It's a skill that can be learnt.
Yes.
It's a skill that's not really taught formally.
Yeah.
And much of what I do is about teaching people that skill. Sure. And the knowledge. And and there are ways of assessing it. You know, one of the things that I use is a psychometric test that measures change fitness in people. Right. So, you know, getting the right people, I think it's a key skill going forward.
Yeah.
That's valuable to organizations to get people who are good with change.
Very interesting. One of the other things I'd like to talk about in this topic is the safety piece. Now, traditionally, you know, work health and safety and stuff has been associated with more dangerous, physically dangerous positions, but increasingly safety is being talked about in a white collar environment. And there are various aspects to this, aren't there? The psychological safety and the you know, whether people have trust and a leader has credibility in the team and things like that. What do you think about that?
Well, these things are cultural issues.
Yes.
You know, when we think about safety in the workplace health and safety or occupational health and safety from years ago, we were thinking about physical dangers. Are there trip hazards? You know, are certain electrical systems safe to use? And that's a part of the culture. Yep. But it's psychological safety is a much broader cultural issue. Yep. It's what's going on inside the organization at a cultural level, and is there trust? Is it safe for people to be who they are? Is it safe for people to make mistakes that aren't critical mistakes that are? I mean, I heard a thing the other day that said that someone surveyed a group of CEOs, and they asked them the question, what percentage of mistakes that people make are critical mistakes? And it was only about 3%. But then they were asked the question, what percentage of the mistakes that people make are treated as though they were bad mistakes? And it was like about 70%.
Yeah.
You know, so that is not safe to be in an environment like that. If you make a small error, but it gets treated like a big mistake, then that doesn't create safety.
Yeah, it's interesting. I was talking. I had a coffee with a couple of IT executives yesterday, and in the discussion, they're talking about people who've moved or been promoted or changed companies or something like that. And in that discussion about who's who and the various contacts, constant thing came up was about the politicization of a role. And this is about what you're talking about having this credibility and this trust. And some people are very political, and they are two-faced and can't be believed because their real intention is not their stated intention. And these are still real issues. But when you're managing a remote or a hybrid work environment, and the new work environment that we're talking about in this humanized workforce piece, this trust this trust and credibility piece does not go with a politicized environment, does it?
No, but this is just an example, really, of what we're talking about, of some of the issues. I mean, the culture of an organization is always important, no matter what's going on.
Yes.
And building trust and creating safety for people is always going to be important.
Yeah.
It's just an added complexity when you've got people working remotely.
Yes, but if you have that command and control and also that political environment, then that's why these are the organizations that are demanding people come back to work and insisting people come back to work, because they can't have that traditional style, can they? Whereas the other organizations that have been successfully changed how they operate totally, or like dramatically, they don't have that culture or that environment, do they?
And that requires a lot of a rethink.
Oh yeah, if you're a huge organization, you can't change that sort of thing overnight. That's a big ship at sea, and to change course is a big, very difficult.
But it's important to do it.
Yeah, yeah. So what about this leadership requirement for handling the psychological safety of their people? Because it is something. There is an increase in mental health issues for workers. It is something that people are discussing more. But what can leaders do to stay on top of that piece?
Well, I guess that's always been a leadership imperative, really. It hasn't always been seen that way. But there's no question of it that research is out there that says that that organisations that have got psychologically safe environments perform better.
Yeah.
Now, I would also claim that organisations where the people are change fit also perform better.
Yeah.
So focusing on these sorts of concepts, on the capability of people to adapt to change and creating an environment where it's safe for people to do that, is really key. And leaders need to be thinking about it, and they need to be prioritising it. Because
I agree. And even though there's a stated intent, oh yeah, we can do that, or yeah, we like it, or something like that, some of the people I'm working with, they're still having a very big issue. Oh yeah, you've got to go off and pick up your kids, or you got a kid at home that's sick or something like that. And it's not a focus on, well, when can you deliver what we need to have delivered, or you've got this to get done, when can you have it done? It's not a focus on that. It's just that I don't have 100% control over what you're doing at the moment, sort of thing, right?
But there is that move towards saying not so much on how much time someone puts in or where they put it in, but what the output is.
Yeah, what the output is. Yeah.
What the output is, you know,
the quality of the output and the timeliness of delivery and stuff. That's right. So yeah, all right. So I think how about we sum up for today and then see how that looks. Is that all right with you?
Yeah.
I think what we're talking about is the changing work environment, the new approaches. We're all trying to get to the same point, to solving customer problems, delivering on our organization's why and the mission and the vision and so on. But the sorts of things that are changing dramatically are things like the work environment, and it's important for leaders to make sure that their team has the right environment to work in and the right facilities, the right emotional conditions and so on, and that they feel connected with the team and the organization. I think it's important for leaders to be flexible and not expect things as they were, but to be totally okay with how things are delivered, as long as the right quality and the timeliness and the requirements are met. But there is a real requirement to make sure you're hiring the right people, or that you've got the right skills in the team, because the work environment is dramatically different to how it was. Then it's important to have people who are more adapted to being able to change, to be change fit, as Steve coins the phrase, and to be up for the task of doing things in a different way. And the last point we discussed was that you need to have a safe environment for people to work in. A political environment where people are saying one thing but doing something else is very difficult in a remote environment, and people need to trust that if they're sharing confidential information, or they're giving you information, how you're going to use it, and not be treated with disrespect. And I think it is difficult for a lot of people to work remotely, or to work away from having that human contact each day. And even though they have Zoom or Teams or something else, and so leaders need to be sensitive to that and to respect it, and not use it in a way that's inappropriate. So that's what we've discussed today. How's that, Steve?
Okay, that's great.
All right. Okay, thanks. We'll be back with the next episode. Bye.
Thanks for watching this video on Humanised Workforce Future You. Please leave a rating or review for the series on the medium where you source your videos.
The transcripts for today's video can be found on craigsaffin.com. Please subscribe to the series to avoid missing out on future episodes.